In maker culture, one thing that we broadly embrace is the notion of fail. And through failing, we learn. The QC Makerspace is what we call a hands-on experiential learning lab. Our tagline is a place for all to tinker, craft, make, design, and learn. Basically, it's a sort of 21st century shop facility, but in the 21st century, that means digital equipment alongside analog equipment. So we have an amalgam of classic analog equipment, some project tables, drying racks, a place for people to cut, sand, drill, saw, paint, that kind of facility. We have a nominal support for power tools and mainline equipment, and then some traditional analog hand tools. And these days we have 3D printers, electronics prototyping equipment, we have a laser cutter engraver machine, we have digital fashion equipment, so that includes digital sewing and digital embroidery technology. We have what are called plotter machines, plotter bots, or sort of robotic two-axis drawing machines. We are a service department, and so therefore we service all of the majors and schools at Queens College, what we broadly here call the Queens College or QC community. So we're not isolated to serving one department or one kind of mode of making. We serve art and design students, we serve computer science students, we serve anthropologists. We're hosting an English class at the moment. We're also hosting an economics class at the moment. We're very multi and interdisciplinary in the community that we support. QC Makerspace can be a little bit novel at first because we're not supporting classrooms, I think, in the traditional lab approach. We're not sort of just building, whether it's teaching aids or demonstration projects for faculty. So it's much more of a space to be utilized. Each user receives an orientation to access the facility. The link for that is on our website, qcmaker.space. Just below the fold, there's a link to request an orientation. That's about 20-25 minutes long. It's a little bit of a conversation. It's a little bit of a tour. And then we go over top-level details, mostly around safety and user agency, letting them know that the makerspace is their makerspace. We are the stewards of the facility, but it's really theirs to explore and to sort of figure out the puzzle that is this place and piece it back together. And then users are free to access the facility. An anthropology student, for her senior final project, she wanted to build by hand a 3,000-year-old Egyptian board game, which is called Senet. And she wanted to build it exactly how they would have done it 3,000 years ago. So no power tools, right? No advanced fabrication equipment, all hand tools, hand joinery, maybe light gluing, but you kind of have to assume what they might have had access to back then. It took her about 2.5, 3 months of almost daily work here, but she did eventually build a replica version of Senet all by hand using all traditional fabrication techniques. 5 students were part of an organization called the Harlem Launch Alliance, the HLA. And it's an organization that teaches people, largely students, how to build rockets for low altitude launching. And so with these 5 students, they basically had their assignment, but they needed to know how to do all of the things. So they needed to do some 3D printing, they needed to do a lot of electronics, and then they needed to do a bunch of fabrication to assemble it all together. All 5 students working together as a group both learned each skill and then worked with each other to kind of amplify each other's understanding of each skill. And in the summer of 2021 did successfully launch 5 rockets and each received their certifications. One student built his own 3D printer. He became so enamored with the art and the skill and just the capability of what a 3D printer was that he eventually wound up building his own 3D printer. Students now are doing a lot of cosplay and doing a lot of fashion expressive development, so doing a lot of sewing and embroidery that's otherwise like an embellishment or, an accessory to fashion. And that's sort of part and parcel with the English course that's going to be building a quilt, a community quilt of 25 individual patchwork kind of items that will go onto a larger quilt. That larger quilt will be approximately, 5 foot by 7 foot when it's completed. We have a display case out front, and there's some design students that have done their own zines. The printing of the zine proper might have been done at Clapper or in some other facility, but the sleeve or the container for the printed matter is usually fabricated here, and that's either with plastic, potentially with the laser. It's a really diverse kit that's here, and it's really, again, each student sort of extracts from it what will be the most rewarding experience.